In the high-stakes arena of technology partnerships, Intel and AMD were the final two contenders in the bidding process for the contract to design the chip for Sony's upcoming PlayStation 6. Winning this contract would have been a significant victory for Intel, bolstering both their design segment and their newly formed foundry business, a key element in CEO Pat Gelsinger's ambitious turnaround plan. In 2021, Gelsinger announced plans for Intel to create a foundry unit, formally launching it at an event in San Jose, California, in February of this year. The PlayStation chip deal, although initiated in Intel's design segment, also promised to significantly boost the financial performance of Intel's foundry business following its recent separation. Details of the discussions and how Intel ultimately missed out on the contract for Sony's next-generation game console are reported here for the first time. Sony consoles typically sell over 100 million units across a half-decade. For a chip designer, console business offers lower profit margins, usually below the 50% mark seen with AI chips, but represents steady and reliable business. Leveraging technology already developed, a contract with Sony could have provided Intel with a stable revenue stream as well as a critical client for its struggling contract manufacturing business. The PlayStation chip contract was not just about financials. It signified prestige and potential long-term collaboration opportunities. However, this time the deal slipped through Intel's fingers, a blow considering the efforts Intel poured into securing it. It meant AMD had triumphed once again, solidifying its ties with Sony and further cementing its reputation as a crucial player in the gaming industry. As Intel looks to the future, the company faces the challenge of finding new clients to keep its foundry business afloat while navigating the rapidly evolving technology landscape. The loss underscores the competitiveness and unpredictability of the tech world, where even the biggest players can face setbacks amid their pursuits for innovation and growth. Yet, as history shows, the fight for dominance in the tech industry is never over. In the high-stakes world of semiconductor sales, few deals were as significant as the one being negotiated between Intel and Sony for the next-generation PlayStation 6. The technology giant Sony needed reliable and powerful chips to power their new consoles. Guided by their ambitious CEO, Sony's requirements were stringent, their expectations sky-high. Intel, ever the titan of semiconductor innovation, seemed like the ideal partner. What seemed like a match made in tech heaven quickly unraveled over a series of contentious meetings. The core of the dispute was the profit margin Intel would make on each chip sold to Sony. Intel's executives, led by their sharp-witted CEO, held firm on a price point they asserted was justified by the cutting-edge technology on offer. Sony, focused on cost efficiency and maintaining profitable margins on their consumer electronics, pushed back hard. Weeks dragged into months. Engineers from both companies, who had anticipated diving into technical collaboration, found themselves in unending sessions trying to find common ground. They pored over designs, specifications, and thermal performance data, all while financial departments clashed over pricing structures. Despite attempts at mediation, the growing chasm between Intel's profit expectations and Sony's budgetary constraints could not be bridged. Enter AMD, Intel's arch-rival with a reputation for both innovation and strategic pricing. Learning of the deadlock, AMD seized the opportunity. They presented a competitive bid that not only met Sony's financial targets, but also promised near-equivalent technological performance. As the months-old negotiations between Sony and Intel broke down, AMD's proposal became increasingly enticing. Sony's executives, acknowledging the urgency to make a decision, shifted their focus. When Intel finally realized the deal was slipping away, high-level talks between the CEOs were convened. This last-ditch effort, however, could not undo the momentum AMD had gained. In the end, AMD landed the coveted PlayStation 6 contract. The fallout from the negotiations became public knowledge after a Reuters report titled, Sony's PlayStation consoles have long been recognized for their robust performance and engaging gaming experience. Central to this success are the custom chips designed specifically for the systems. For the current generation of PlayStation consoles, Sony relied on the expertise of AMD, fulfilling a design contract to provide the powerhouse behind the machines. Last week, Sony announced the PlayStation 5 Pro, intriguing gamers with promises of enhanced capabilities. Despite this reveal, the next generation of PlayStation consoles remains under wraps. Since its 2020 launch, the first-generation PlayStation 5 systems have proven wildly successful, with sales reaching 20.8 million units in fiscal 2023. In a manner akin to how tech giants like Google and Amazon depend on external vendors for custom AI chips, Sony also turns to experienced design contractors to craft the processors integral to their systems. The design process for console chips often involves ensuring compatibility with previous system versions, providing a seamless experience for users wishing to play older games on new hardware. When Sony discussed the possibility of transitioning from AMD, which created the PlayStation 5 chip, to Intel, considerations around backward compatibility became a focal point. Engineers and executives from both companies deliberated the potential risks. Intel's recent struggles, including missing the AI boom wave and reporting a dismal second quarter, amplified the stakes. The company's plans to cut 15% of its workforce and reduce capital spending on factory expansions also loomed over these discussions. Ensuring backward compatibility with earlier versions of the PlayStation came with its own set of challenges and costs. The process demanded substantial engineering resources, yet it was a feature Sony frequently included to maintain player loyalty and satisfaction. Allowing PlayStation users to continue enjoying games purchased for older systems has been a hallmark of new generation releases, cementing Sony's commitment to its community. Ultimately, the decision on who would design the next-generation chips carried weighty implications, both for maintaining backward compatibility and for positioning in the broader tech landscape. As the world awaits further announcements, the evolution of these custom chips remains critical to Sony's strategy, preserving the continuity and enriching the legacy of PlayStation gaming. The sudden departure of Lip Bhutan, a high-profile board member, over differences in Intel's future, added to the company's challenges as Gelsinger and other Intel executives presented plans to the board at a meeting last week, multiple sources said. Early this month, Reuters reported on the planned board meeting, citing a source familiar with the discussions. The potential plans include ideas on how to shave off businesses Intel can no longer afford to operate. Executives are also expected to debate the future of Intel's programmable chip unit Altera, including a potential sale, and its manufacturing expansion in Germany. Intel, under Gelsinger's tenure, split its design and manufacturing operations, reporting financial results separately since the first calendar quarter this year. In April, the company disclosed $7 billion in operating losses for its manufacturing businesses. Intel has struggled to find a marquee customer it can publicly talk about for its first manufacturing process, known as 18A, open to other companies. Had Intel secured the PlayStation 6 chip, it could have occupied its foundry unit for more than 5 years, two sources said. Sony's console business could have channeled roughly $30 billion into Intel over the course of the contract, according to Intel's internal projections. The PlayStation 2 sold roughly 150 million units since its launch in 2000. A long-term contract with Sony would have helped attract significant clients to Intel's contract manufacturing effort, two sources said, as the company continues to struggle with drawing customers to its advanced 18A process.